If your expectations in this video is for me to bombard you with researches and sources, well, this is not the right video for you. There are people that do those types of video better than me. What I can do is provide you and offer you a different perspective on protein powder. And I can do that by just using logic. And then you can just think about it and make your own decisions. Step 1. We have to make an important assumption. Let's assume that the protein powder that you have in your house, that you're using it, is the purest and healthiest protein powder on the market. What I mean by that is your protein powder doesn't have any seed oils like canola, sunflower, or soybean oil. Also, let's assume that your protein powder doesn't have any added sugar and any added flavors. And on top of that, your protein powder doesn't have any disruptive hormonal chemicals. So, in summary, we assume that your protein powder only contains one ingredient: protein. Alright, let's make a second assumption. Let's assume that the method used to extract the protein from its source was done safely. What I mean by that is your protein powder comes from a source which wasn't heavily sprayed with pesticides, as well as they didn't use any toxic solvent to extract the protein from its source. For example, like hexane, which by the way is a neurotoxin. And when you finally found the perfect, the purest, the healthiest protein powder that doesn't have anything added to it, that the method of extraction was healthy, when you finally found that perfect protein powder, now you just hope that the company selling to you isn't lying about the quality and the source of this protein. Because it's not like companies would ever lie to you to make more profits. Of course not. So the big assumption here is that you have the purest, the healthiest protein powder in the world, which by the way, good luck finding one. But let's just assume that you have the healthiest protein powder. There are still problems associated with that. Because I hear often people say, oh, well, protein is found in whole foods. So if you can find protein in natural foods, that means it's healthy to supplement with it. There's a problem with that because when you eat a steak, you do not only get protein from the steak, you also get different enzymes, different healthy bacteria, you get fiber, you get minerals, you get vitamins, you get all of those things, not just protein. So everything that is occurring in natural foods, which comes with the protein, will help you absorb the protein the correct and healthy way, which, by the way, we evolved to do thousands of years ago. What this means is if you increase protein in your body, but most of this protein comes from protein powder, well, you're not going to have enough vitamins and minerals to absorb this protein properly. And because you don't have those other minerals and vitamins that occur naturally in food, well, you might start to have negative effects from the protein powder. You will probably have damage to the organs and you will have inflammation, and overall, you will get sicker. And now you might say to me, oh, well, I supplement with vitamins and minerals with my protein powder. Great. You're already ahead of most people. You've done more research and you realize that it's not just protein powder. You need to have the proper balance with all the elements in your body. You might need to take something else as well. So it's great that you're doing more research and you're ahead of most people. But don't you think that it would be foolish and arrogant of us to think that we know better than nature? There's things that we might not know. Yes, maybe you're supplementing with that vitamin with your protein powder. What about other minerals that we don't know about? What about the other enzymes? What about the healthy bacteria? What about the fiber that you would find in natural food? There are things that we are not aware of. We would like to think that we're smarter than nature, but we are not. I am not smarter than nature. You're not smarter than nature. The experts and scientists, they're not smarter than nature. They think they are, but they're not. So this is something I should be really careful with. Reminder, the protein, it's not all about protein. What is important is to think of how the protein enters your body and with what it enters your body, what other elements it comes with when it's occurring in natural foods. That is really important to keep in mind. Now, there's another problem that could arise with protein powder that you should be aware of. When you eat normal food, your body is spending a lot of energy trying to break down and extract all those nutrients that it wants to absorb from the food. It's a whole process that takes hours. Now, let's come back to the example of steak. When you eat steak, your body spends a lot of energy extracting all those nutrients from the steak. Now, what happens when you just ingest pure protein powder? Well, your body doesn't have to go through this extensive process where it breaks down and tries to extract this protein from the food. No, it's already extracted and it's already isolated in its purest form, the protein powder. And your body is the same as humans. He will get the work done while using the least amount of effort and energy. So, do you really think that your body is going to spend a lot of energy trying to get the protein out of foods when he knows that he can get the protein out of the protein powder, which is way easier to do? In other words, you become dependent on the protein powder. So your body doesn't necessarily forget how to extract protein from whole foods, but he becomes less efficient at it. Why? Because he doesn't need to be efficient at extracting protein from whole foods if he knows he can get it faster and easier from protein powder. Now, that might sound better, right? Because your body can get protein faster and easier. It might sound good. But what happens when you stop using protein powder? What happens then? Because now your body is dependent on it and now it's less efficient at getting this protein from whole foods. This is where the problem comes. I don't want to be the one telling you what to do or not to do. What I would like is for you to just think about it, make more research, try things, be more observant of the signs that your body is giving you, and if necessary, make changes. And if you're curious, I have never tried protein powder and I will never try it because I prefer nourishing my body the way it was meant to be and how evolution has done it for thousands of years ago. In other words, I get everything from whole foods. Now, I understand that the nutrition advice that is going on in the world is making people sicker and sicker. And this is why it will be my pleasure to clear things out for you. I will see you in the next video.